So next hand, I first have to see, that was pretty standard. A lot of these hands I just marked to take some notes on players, so
Hmm.
a lot of them I just. All right, this was an interesting one. So this is in the um, 2K. So villain open raise is 65 big blinds. We have around 38. I think it's final two tables in the 2K high roller on Poker Stars. Pre-flop, I think easy defend.
We're
Here,
recording.
yeah, I'm recording.
Okay.
Um, what would you be three betting as a bluff here, by the way, pre-flop for 40 big blinds? Because it's a very tricky stack size. There's so many hands naturally you want to be calling.
Hmm.
Suited connectors don't really feel so natural to three bet with. What would be your selection of hands that you would be bluff three betting here?
I think actually King two suited's like perfect.
Yeah,
I think he's opening a lot of offsuit King X, this player in particular. So we straight away make him fold King eight, King nine, King 10, King Jack, maybe even King Queen. I mean, like versus big blind free bets, people extrapolate themselves into the big blind, so he knows he doesn't free bet much, so it's very unlikely for you to free bet much. So when you free bet, you look very strong. So I think people will definitely fold King Jack and very possibly King Queen. So when you can make him fold this many offsuit hands, I think it works out really well.
yeah,
For post flop, the two is very good because it doesn't block any of his raise fold range as well. And a hand like King eight, King nine, they're just too strong to free bet fold. But King two also blocks like Ace King, Kings for jamming. Um, so yeah, I think this one's really good. Also post flop, being able to flop top pairs like super. The SPR is going to be quite small, and when the SPR is small, top pair is very important. So like King two will outperform a hand like 5 6 suited a lot of the time here because top pairs the notes you stack off or you just check down
yeah,
whatever or check call passive whatever. Having a flush draw on flop or turn, shoving in whatever is going to be good. So yeah, I think this actually performs really strongly as a free bet King
yeah.
two suited.
So like king deuce, maybe king three suited, maybe even like something like queen three, queen four suited. These
Yeah,
kind of
like
hands.
one high card suited hands. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's pretty
sounds
good. I
reasonable.
actually see a lot of people free betting like king two offsuit here and king three offsuit, but like the problem is like king two suited plays like infinitely better than king
Yeah,
two offsuit. You
it's
know,
more thing
uh,
against button, right?
yeah, where people have like loads and loads of offsuit combos,
Yeah,
like they're opening like 10-7 offsuit. Sure, free bet king two offsuit because you can make them fold a
yeah,
bunch. But against like hijack, he doesn't have as much offsuit stuff.
yeah. True. Anyway, this time I went for a call, but I was considering to three bet pre. Flop comes king 9-3. He c
Mm-hmm.
bets on the small side. I think pretty standard so far. You see any merits in deviating from our strategy of calling, or is it
No,
for
I would say that people will use a larger size with like strong value hands sometimes here. So like I'm like very happy with our hand stuff.
you? You're raising?
No, no, I'm
Okay,
just calling, but
okay,
like I'm
yeah. Jack. Um, we assume we're gonna keep calling at least once again,
yeah, for sure.
and he checks back, and now the river is the queen. What is
Okay.
your What is your thought on checking? You consider value betting? If so, which
I would
sizing?
block. I would
You would
block the
block?
river.
Okay.
I think it's very easy for you to be bluffing. Like it's like you don't have that much value hands. Like your value hands are going to be like Jack 10, Queen 10, King 10, 9 10. Like some of these could raise the flop. You have like every 3x that you could bluff. You could maybe bluff 9x, maybe some pocket pairs you didn't jam pre-flop, all flush draws,
Ace
like
X with backdoor flat like ace deuce,
ace
ace
x
and
backdoor
yeah,
flush draw. Yeah,
yeah,
even a hand like 7 8 clubs potentially is around. Most likely not, but like, like there's a lot of hands you could potentially have. Um, you don't have pocket kings, you don't have pocket jacks, you don't have pocket queens. You'd raise the flop with pocket. You don't have nines or threes. You'd raise the flop with 9 3, king 9. So you don't rep too much. You chop with every single king. Like he never checks ace king on the turn. I don't think he doesn't have king 10, and if he has king 8, you chop with him. Like Queen Jack beats you, like sure, but like there's not that much which actually beats you here,
yeah.
and I don't expect him to actually bluff that much either. So I think blocking will work out pretty well. And people are just suspicious and will call. And also an important thing is he's very unlikely to bluff raise when you bet small. So like maybe GTO he should raise like 20% on the river, but maybe I think very likely it's like zero apart from 10x.
Yeah. I
So I
think
think
Jack
blocking
10
works
and
out very
10s
good.
are the only hands I'm afraid of. 10
Hmm.
9, 10 9, Jack 10, 10s are the hands that I would expect with a high frequency C bet flop check turn. And then I also even think that ace 10, most racks will just second barrel it, immediate fold against the 9 against his
For
3.
sure.
Yeah. Um,
Especially if they have a heart. Like, Like for
Yeah.
sure, they could be barreling this 10, I think.
What
They
would be
know
your
because
hands that you would be check calling with? Just purely
um
a nine or a jack?
yeah, yeah, like a nine, a jack, like I mean his 10x hands. The thing is like his 10x hands is not going to be a king. So like check calling against the big bet, I would rather check call jack x than king x, right? Because he doesn't have king 10. Like it's for sure a value bet on the turn. If he checked, it would be very very strange. So like check calling 9x is probably better than check calling king x because he can definitely play 9-10 suited as like bet flop check turn bet river, but he won't have king 10. So like even 9-10 as a bluff catcher could be potentially better than king x, as absurd as that sounds,
But the
because
jack it
isn't
should be the best one because we also block queen jack that checks back and then goes for big sizing, right? Eventually.
yeah, if he has queen jack.
Because
Yeah, I
he's
just mean
always
like
betting
I see
check
people
back.
like looking at absolute hand strength,
Ah,
like
yeah,
they'll
that's true. That's
like
true.
they
Yeah.
think king two. I will fold my jack x because I can call my king x, but like jack x, or they won't block their king x because they won't have a check calling range,
Yeah.
But like the king x doesn't really benefit your check calling range that much. The jack x does, I think. So like
Yeah.
you can check call like ace jack on the river or something like that. But
Yeah.
king x, I think, is a pretty clear block against population.
I went for a little different strategy here. I went for the check. I agree that in hindsight I would should always be betting because if I think that someone is bluffing, I have so many other I think this is just a spot where we're gonna miss too much value. I think even not necessarily betting small, but I think even like 40 or 50% pot is probably still going to be good enough in terms of equity that we have against this range. He's going to have all ace jacks, all ace, maybe ace queen also keeps barreling, but he has like ace nines, he has nine eights, he has jack eight suited, maybe even opening jack seven suited, he has sevens, eights, he has some random queen x that he didn't barrel with, all the one pair jack x hands. So even
Mm-hmm.
maybe he levels himself into calling with ace three suited. So yeah, I think we're gonna see too many checkbacks from 9x, queen x, jack x that would have called a bet. So from
Agree.
just this is not even like me trying to exploit someone that I checked here. I think I just after 6-7 hours of grinding and maybe also too many tables, I didn't see it right away, which looks
It's
such a
hard to see it. I mean, it's a four line and one straight. Like it's very hard to see it, I think,
mm,
anyway.
yeah, but still, it's a mistake. So I went for the check, and he goes for quite a large overbet. I mean, it's not a large; it's an overbet. Large overbet would be like 15 big blinds. He
I would
bets
fold.
10 big blinds into 8.85 big blinds.
I would fold.
You would
I would
fold?
Yeah, I think if he's trying to make you fold, he's trying to make you fold a nine, or three, or a jack, or something. Like people, I think people like, let's say he has a hand like ace deuce here, like he can choose to bluff two hand categories. He can try to make you fold like two pair, or like a strong king or something, which very likely it's tough to do on these kind of boards where he doesn't represent that much 10x. Or he can just try to make you fold like a three or like pocket fives or like a weak nine or something like this, or ace high or a miss flush draw or whatever. So like I think it's way more likely that he would choose to do the to if he was bluffing, I think it's way more likely he would target a weaker range.
Yeah.
So therefore I think he's very unlikely to be bluffing.
Okay. Yeah, I like your reasoning. I think against population, I would also lean more towards folding. But against him, I think he can be out of line in some of the spots.
But we also
So
don't block any value as well, right? Like
true.
we don't block. Like if we had maybe the jack two of hearts, maybe I would call. I
Yeah.
think the king is just a very bad bluff catcher to have
Yeah,
here.
actually the jack is so much better. You block queen jack,
Hmm.
you block jack 10. Um,
Yeah.
maybe he was, yeah, it's actually a good point. I think king x is such an easy block. That's the point. And this is why actually we don't need to continue talking about whether king x is a bluff catch, because you should never end up being in a game tree in this game tree with king x here, because you should bet yourself. So this is where the mistakes happened. So next time I'm going to be betting myself, and I know once I check, I bluff catch my jack x. Problem
I
solved,
would
right?
say population will definitely not value bet as wide as they should out of position here. I think
Yeah,
their betting range is only 10x. And when
yeah,
they only bet 10x and all their bluffs, it's very easy. I think our X squad in position should be to overcall. Like if big blind bets, I think we should be calling loads from in position because people will just be betting straights
yeah, yeah,
essentially. And
yeah,
they'll have so many bluffs, like every single 3x hand, every miss flush draw, etc.
yeah. Ace high flush draw draws, ace high backdoor flush draw hands like ace four,
Mm-hmm.
ace in hearts, ace for foreign hearts, like all these, even something like ace 8, ace 7 with one heart is probably always going to be calling.
And you randomly see people bluffing like stupid hands here. Like they'll just have like queen X of hearts and just randomly bluff. Like you'll see so many like random bluffs, but you won't see random values, you
Yeah,
know? So always easy to overcall,
yeah,
especially when you get a good price when they block, like just never fold.
yeah. So what does he have?
He has, I mean, Jack 10.
Jack 10?
6-5. Okay, nice.
I actually
Very nice.
don't mind it, to be honest.
No, it seems good.
Yeah, I also think
Good.
it's good. It's just a thing of frequencies, right? If you bluff every 6-5 suited combo, some ace high, 7-8s, maybe pocket deuces, then it's gonna be printing for me. I just make so much money with my bluff catchers,
Yeah, for sure.
right?
For sure.